The World Series is officially over, and we are now heading into the MLB offseason. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly episode of the Seattle Baseline podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm with Alex Hong. That was a crazy World Series. So after the Mariners lost, I had a week where like homework was dominating my life and I wasn't able to watch the World Series. Not that I wanted to watch it either, because like who wants to watch it after you just like suffer the most grueling loss in the franchise's history? But I watched like half of the last game. My friend texted me and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it. I turned it on. It's in the sixth inning, and Chris Bassett's on the mound, and we go from there. It was a crazy finish. I thought the Blue Jays would cash in on at least one of those chances that they had, but they lost to the Dodgers. Dodgers win it again, and Will Smith wins the sixth consecutive World Series. So, Alex, let me know what you're thinking here, because I thought that was a pretty cool World Series.
Shoot, maybe we gotta get a guy named Will Smith. I don't know, because it seems to be the trend here. But yeah, that World Series was absolutely crazy. And not only that, I feel like there's a lot of things like I took away from that. Well, just besides it just being an awesome game to watch in general. Man, I mean, the Blue Jays should have won that series. I mean, let's just face it. I cannot believe the Dodgers won Game 7 because they had so many chances. They had the bases loaded right in the ninth inning. Somehow the Dodgers got out of it. And the crazy one to me was the ground ball that was hit to Miguel Rojas, and somehow they got the force at second. When I saw that live, I thought he was safe. Like I thought he was guaranteed safe because Miguel Rojas took forever to throw the ball to home. But I guess I saw something online that kind of Falefa actually on third base was really close to the base because the coaches were worried he was going to get double played or picked off or something, and that might have cost them the game because when the ball was hit, IKF was basically on third base. So he did not have a head start. Because if he did have a head start, he definitely would have been safe. That's why I thought because the play took so long to happen, I thought he was 100% going to be safe at home. But yeah, and then the big thing is the Dodgers bottom of the order, right? They were clutch, and same with the Blue Jays, and that's what did not happen in the Mariners series. These guys had like a complete roster, right? That actually did end up performing. So you can count on guys like Miguel Rojas, out of all people, to get the clutch home run for you guys or something like that. So, I mean, yeah, it was a cool series. Yamamoto, he's unbelievable. I have no words to say about him. Absolutely deserved the MVP. And yeah, it was great. It was one of the best World Series I've ever seen. It's close there with the Cubs 2016 one.
It's one of those games where like you you feel like wow, you want the Dodgers to lose, and then like it's like they're that team where it's like they're the monster, and you're trying to destroy Bowser with Mario, but then at some point Mario is going to lose all his power ups, and it's gonna lose. So that's kind of like what I think of the Dodgers. Like the Dodgers as like the super team where like every team wants to beat them. And that's what every team does. It's like off season, and then trade deadline. All of this stuff goes straight into I want to beat Bowser at the World Series. But it was yeah. It makes you wonder, like, if the Mariners made it to the World Series, would they have won? Like it's one of those things where like it was a fun one, but because it was so close, you just wonder if the Mariners could have won it all if they had beat the Blue Jays. But um, I think for this year, we're gonna shift from the World Series to like the Mariners in general. The Mariners had a really solid team. I mean, you go and get Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez at the trade deadline. You get an unexpected performance from what you thought was like the end of Jorge Polanco's career. I mean, you get into the season this year after signing Jorge Polanco, and Polanco's um, just coming back from a patellar tendon injury. You're going you went into the season and now he's not hitting righty anymore because he has a sore side. And then um, now he's batting lefty on lefty against one of the lefty pitchers. I forgot what that was. It was the start of the season. But then Jorge Polanco puts up the best month that he's ever put up with like a 390 average. So there was unexpected performances and then there was like a lot of injuries, but then you had reinforcements that came in. Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez, you didn't expect all of your pitchers except for Brian Wu to be injured in the first half of the season, but then Brian Wu got injured to get to the postseason. So I think, was there any pitcher that didn't get injured? Castillo didn't get injured, I don't
Like
think.
probably not. I mean, our relief pitchers, most of them, like Munoz was good. Like, I mean, we had like Brash injured at the start, but
Yeah.
out of our starters, yes, we had Kirby affected, Gilbert affected, and definitely Bryce Miller.
Yeah. And so now that we've gone into the off season, we have what was the team is going to shrink because now you have to pay all of them again. And so today I want to look at the arbitration. I want to look at free agents that are going into the 2026 season. And
Hmm.
that's for today. That's going to be what we're going to talk about, and then next episode we're going to go into who are the free agents and like what we think of those free agents. So that one, stay tuned. But Alex, let's talk about arbitration.
Yeah, so we got 10 guys, I believe, entering arbitration. So I'm gonna list them all and their projected values. So first, we have Trent Thornton for $2.5 million, Randy Arozarena for 18.2, Logan Gilbert for 10, Gabe Spire for 1.7, Kirby for 5.4, Taylor Saucedo, if you guys remember him, 1.1, um, Matt Brash 1.8, Luke Rayleigh 1.8. Oh, if you really remember, Gregory Santos 800,000, and Bryce Miller 2.4. So yeah, we got some names who haven't really played this year, but that's okay. Looking at this list, Julian, there's a lot of things that look out to me of like, wow, this is gonna have to be a decision but the Mariners make, and there's some that are like no decision. Like you're obviously gonna keep him, right? So I mean, who on this list is an obvious keep for you? Let's just start with that.
um First of all, Gregory Santos, shout out to him. He throws 100 miles an hour and he's a great ground ball pitcher. Getting him for $800,000 is great. The only concern is injury. I think that's the only concern with Gregory Santos throughout, like, or not the only concern, but that's the big concern. And it's so big, in fact, that he's played like 3 games in the past 2 years. And so
Yeah.
I don't think there's much risk associated with 800,000, but at the same time,
No.
you're risking not having a player. Like you're risking just throwing away $800,000. But I think that 800,000 is worth the risk. I'm going Gregory Santos, and then I like Randy Arozarena on this team. I think he provides a good energy. He's a great batter. If you take out the playoffs, Randy Arozarena was probably one of the best left fielders in the MLB this year. Like literally, he was one of the best guys batters wise. He's consistently putting up 20-20 to 30-30 numbers, and I think we keep him for $18 million. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, Bryce Miller. No, no, no. Like I don't have to think about those three. You just keep them because those three are really good. Um, Alex, who else do you think?
Matt Brash, if
Matt
you touched
Brash.
on
Okay.
him, Gabe
Yeah.
Spire, right? Those guys are cheap. Those guys should be a no decision. Same for George Kirby and Logan Gilbert. I do agree with you on that. I feel like we have to bring them back. Bryce Miller as well, right? Those are our three of our starting pitchers. I mean, and they're pretty good, and these are not that expensive contracts. Um, Randy's an interesting one. and he is a little expensive, but he's expensive for the Mariners. I wouldn't say he's actually that expensive, like as a player. But look, I think we need to re-sign Randy for this reason. The Mariners in previous years, the guys we've been pulling out of left field are always like different. We had Luke Rayleigh as our starter last year, okay, until we got Randy, basically. The year before we had Kelnick, I believe. Yeah, Jared Kelnick. And the year before that, we had Jesse Winker. I mean, we keep changing guys in and out. Randy's like the one time we've had stability in that position. So I feel like that's a big deal to keep him. And $18.2 million is for a team like the Mariners, it might look a little expensive, but you gotta pay some players if you want to win. I mean, like we're not like and we're not like tanking like the Chicago White Sox or like the Rockies are. So we gotta be willing to open up the checkbook for at least some of these players. And Randy, he's been on the team before. We know he can play well. I mean, he didn't have a good postseason, but if you look at his regular season, it was so unbelievable. I mean, we have to keep him, I'm pretty sure.
100%. Randy Arozarena, I think you just said it. For the Mariners, he's expensive, but then if you look at him from like a just a left fielder in free agency perspective, he's getting more than $18 million easily. He's getting 25 to $30 million. He's worth that. Like the players that are worth $30 million, I think Randy Arozarena is pretty close to. So, um, $18 million is pretty cheap. Logan Gilbert for $10 million, easy. George Kirby for 5.4. Like most of these guys are very easy decisions. I think the one that's not easy is Taylor Saucedo, Trent Thornton. Those two are not very easy.
Yeah.
How much do you want to pay Trent Thornton more than you're paying Matt Brash or Gabe Spire?
Tough to say. Trent Thornton's also going to come back from an Achilles injury, so it's a little tough there. And he wasn't that good this year either. Um, it's really tough to say. I know he was okay the year before, but this year he was not very good at all. And relievers, 2.5 million is kind of a lot for a guy like Trent Thornton. I'm not sure if we bring him back. That's a tough decision.
So
But it's
Trent,
not, I don't think it's a decision that might be kind of tough, but overall, it doesn't have that much meaning to the team, if that makes sense.
no,
Like, it's not like, or the difference from winning the World Series is going to be Trent Thornton.
but the difference between saving Gabe Spire, Matt Brash, and Andres Munoz, or Edward Bizardo might be Trent Thornton. I think that's where you
Yeah.
have Trent Thornton as like one of those guys that like he's not going to make the big decisions for you, but in in the course of like playing the regular season of chess, you're are you going to get rid of a guy that can pretty consistently strike people out, has a bit of home run issues, but like he's overall a solid pitcher? Or do you allocate 2.5 million and then the 1.1 from Taylor Saucedo and then you put it somewhere else in free agency? So those are the two decisions. Like
Yeah.
is $3.6 million of two relief pitchers, one that you haven't seen almost all year in Taylor Saucedo, and one that's coming back from an injury and also didn't play very well in Trent Thornton. That 3.6 million, can you is that something you're willing to spend on two pitchers, or is it or are you cutting that? I think my answer to that is I'll cut them because I think there's a better use for $3.6 million easily in the free
Yeah, I
agency
agree.
market. Once you have Gregory Santos, Matt Brash, and Gabe Spire from this list, and then you have Andres Munoz in the bullpen already, I don't think there's much that you need other than that, especially if Bizardo keeps on pitching the way that he has, and Colin Snyder probably coming back from an injury starting next year. So I think we have what I classify as like the Trent Thornton level already. I don't think we need him for 2.5.
Yeah, and honestly, you can get another Trent Thornton type level for cheaper than 2.5 from free agency or something like that. I don't know. You could pick up someone random. Like those type of bullpen guys aren't usually that expensive at all. So I feel like he might have to go, in my opinion. But yeah, knowing that with the arbitration values, that's actually most of our core is there, right? We don't
Yep.
actually have that many outgoing free agents, except the guys we just traded for in the offseason, and then there's a few others. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the three guys that like the main guys that are going to go into free agency this year: Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, and then assuming he opts out, which I think he will, Jorge Polanco. So those are the three. And that's like your entire infield right there, barring shortstop. And so it's a pretty big it's a pretty big chunk of your team that you're giving up to free agency.
Hmm.
There's been talks about signing Josh Naylor to a bigger contract. There's been talks about signing Jorge Polanco to a bigger contract, letting Eugenio Suarez go because of his age. There's been a lot of talks, but I think overall the Mariners need to um, they need to stabilize these positions because you can't be switching them out and then platooning every single year. It's just not going to work. And so that's something where in the arbitration, that's something you have to think about is like how much are these guys getting paid and how much are you willing to sacrifice to get back or upgrade on one of these three positions.
I mean, having like one or two platoons is okay, but you can't platoon like every single position. And that's kind of what we were doing with like what we were doing at right field, what we were doing at first base, kind of what we were doing at third base, right? It was kind of bad in that regard. So we should try to build some stability. So Naylor, he's the free agent we got from the trade, and for him, I feel like it really depends on how much he wants to command. Now, obviously, Naylor was really good when he got here, and it's hard to find players who can actually hit well in Seattle, and he was one
Mhm.
of them. So I feel like, in my personal opinion, he should be a high priority to resign. Obviously, it depends on how much he wants. What would be a value that you're comfortable paying Josh Naylor?
Paying Josh Naylor, I I'd go $20 million a year is my high bar. This is me saying I'm not going higher than I'm paying Julio Rodriguez. Literally, like I'm not going
Yeah,
higher than
that's true.
Julio when it comes to Josh Naylor. And sure, Julio is a bargain of a deal, but at the same time, it comes to show what the Mariners are willing to pay their players. And so I just don't think 20 or more is good if you're trying to go get Josh Naylor back from free agency. I'd say something along the lines of like the arbitration value that Randy Arozarena has, $18 million seems like a really fair line. And then a multi-year deal, something along the lines of like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I'd be willing to do like 5 years if it was like a little less than $20 million, I think. His agent is Scott Boras, so that obviously is a little concerning, but I feel like for a guy like Josh Naylor, he hasn't done enough to command like crazy money like Pete Alonso or like someone like that.
Mhm.
I feel like Josh Naylor around the 20 million range or less than that. I feel like it should be less than that, but even if it does get to 20 million range, that would be worth it. And I am fine doing a multi-year deal because he is 28 years old and I feel like he still has a lot left in him. He's
Yeah,
not like a guy who's about to fall off a cliff, for example.
I can see that. I mean, you're paying a guy who clearly likes the club. I mean, he wears a Seattle Sonics jersey into the
Kraken too.
stadium. Yeah. Wait, did he do that too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that one. He loves Seattle, and I think it really is worth it because a contact hitter like Josh Naylor, who can who can foul off a million pitches and then get one for a hit. Maybe he'll strike out from time to time, but at the same time, he's getting so much contact that he's burning the other pitcher out. And then you get that home run power that he has. I think Josh Naylor is a easy re signing. Well, not
Yeah, I
easy
agree.
as in like easy to get him, but easy decision to want Josh Naylor back out of the three.
Yeah, I for sure agree. I mean, Naylor, like, I don't think he actually strikes out that much. He doesn't walk that much, which could be a little concerning, but he hits for contact and he has the potential to hit for power as well. And he steals spaces somehow, which I still don't know how he does that, but he does that. So he's a really technically sound player. Even though he's slow, he knows how to steal bases because he times the pitcher's count really well, right? He's just a very nice player to have. And I think his first base defense is pretty good. I know it's first base defense and anyone can play first base, but I still think it is pretty good. So yeah, I really like Josh Naylor and I do hope we are able to bring him back.
Yeah. And for me, like you just mentioned the first base defense. I think Josh Naylor's first base defense ranks among the top 3 to 5 of first basemen in the league. He's a very good first baseman. He's smart. He's he's not fast, but he's very athletic.
Mhm.
And the reach that he has to get a ball that's flying towards him from third or second base, I really like his abilities at first base. So I think this is stability in like every day you can roll out Josh Naylor and you're feeling pretty good about the first base position. I don't know how much you can say the same about the other two in Jorge Polanco in and Eugenio Suarez. Suarez, because of his age, I just if we are going to re-sign him, it's going to be a 1 year deal, and there's really no stability in doing that. So I want Josh Naylor. That's the guy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think signing Suarez is going to be that good of a decision. I really don't think we should sign him at all. I feel like he's going to command too much money for the season he had, which he did have a good season, but we know Suarez struggles again in Seattle, and he's ended the season in postseason. It wasn't too great anyway. So I feel like I like Suarez, but I feel like he's got to go. I feel like the tougher decision is Polanco. It depends on how much he commands as well, because I mean, last year he was really bad, but this year he was really good. So it's like, I mean, and this was basically almost a career year for Jorge Polanco as well. So if he wants like a multi-year deal, that's a good amount of money. That's going to be a little concerning for me, I feel like it's a little risky to do that. Now, obviously, we do still need infielders, right? If we lose Suarez and we lose Jorge Polanco in this theoretical situation, we would have JP, we would have like Cole Young, we would have Ben Williamson. That, I don't know
Cole
how good
Emerson,
I feel about that. Cole Emerson too, but we're not going to have him at the start of the season.
no.
So. I feel like we need to we if we don't sign those two, we need to bring an infielder in. It's okay to have like Ben Williamson play for like a bit and see how he progresses, but I feel like having two projects that we have no idea if they're going to be good is a little I wouldn't feel good about that, especially if we're
Basically,
trying to win.
you're saying like we want to bridge the gap between when Cole Emerson comes in and when Cole Young ends up actually becoming the major leaguer that we expect him to be. Like we want to bridge the gap between right now and then like when that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that could be Jorge Polanco, and that could be okay, right? Because Jorge Polanco, he'll be playing second base, but then he could DH some days, right? If Raleigh's catching, and some days he can't. So, it's not like we are still gonna have openings for like Cole Young to develop. It's not like we're signing a second baseman that's like he's stuck there, right? He's like Cole Young's never gonna get ahead of him. Like Harry Ford right now is in a little tough situation because of Cal Raleigh. But even that with Harry Ford, he's still gonna be able to play because Cal's gonna DH. So yeah, I feel like I think we need to bring one guy we're confident in within that could be second, that could be third, I don't know, whatever it is. It could be Polanco or not, but we have to bring some guy in the infield to bring some stability to this team.
Yeah, and one that can be here for more than 1 year, more than 1 or 2 years. The last thing I want with Jorge Polanco is for it to end up like the Mitch Haniger contract, where you sign well the Robbie Ray contract, same thing. You basically had to burn $15 million this year because Mitch Haniger just wasn't good enough, and he was he was gone at the start of the season. And then you have Mitch Garver, who also he didn't have anything to offer compared to what you want for $12 million for a DH
Yeah.
that came in. You had to play him as a backup catcher because he wasn't good enough at hitting. He was the DH going into 2024, and you couldn't get anything from him. So that's the concern that I have. Sure, the contract that these guys command is probably going to be pretty high, but how much is that worth it with a pretty good chance that their peak is over and now they're going to be going into that like almost retirement stage.
Yeah.
That's the concern for them to turn out like Mitch Haniger and Mitch Garver because 2024 those two played miserable. Plus Jorge Polanco played miserable. So there's a little bit of concern there, but I think $15 million for Jorge Polanco is not a bad deal, especially after what we saw this year. And
Mhm.
even though we saw in 2024 that he didn't play very well, I can just put that aside and say, okay, he had an injury. Then 2025, he was great. 2026, hopefully he's great again. So yeah, that's all I have for what we have in house right now. What do you think?
Yeah, especially with the prospects we have coming up with Cole Emerson, it's not like we're completely screwed in the infield. So I feel like I agree with that plan. I really want to re-sign Naylor for a very reasonable amount, which I think will happen. I don't think he can like feasibly command that much money. And yeah, and sign one infielder, and that I think if just we're looking at in-house, it could be good. If it at infielder is Polanco, that's fine with me, honestly. We'll see how the market plays out. I'm not sure. It's gonna be tough to say, but I'm very certain Polanco's gonna opt out. And honestly, from a business like perspective, he really should opt out because he can make way more than $6 million next year. So if I was him, I have no problem with him opting out because I would opt out too. Yeah, that's all for me too.
Yeah. So next episode, we're going to be talking about like the actual possible free agents that might come in for the Mariners. I'd love to hear your guys' free agents. Put it down in the comments, and we'll evaluate a bunch of free agents. And yeah, that's all I've got. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our beautiful faces on YouTube. Check out our Instagram, and as always, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.